Dirty trucking. Back in my apartment, don't know for how long. But I'm gonna keep hope alive. Cause, sometimes you just gotta refuse to let people and they evil shit just fucking destroy you. So went to the mailbox. Got some stuff in there that's like they playing games again. Got a letter from my phone carrier talking about a automatic payment of $33 and some change for the phone bill. I didn't set no arrangement like that. Then my debt letter was in there. They come in here and they go in the closet. And I could tell they've been in the closet. It's this box. Box right here. When I moved in here, this is the same box I kept all my stuff in my other apartments. This box right here. Now, my other apartment, I didn't have a box. I threw it in here when I moved it. This was one of the leftover boxes from moving. This box here. My pictures, my debt history, all that shit. And I could tell they had been coming in here messing with it because this has been torn now. It's torn. They ripped it because they've been coming in here, going in here, looking for shit. I think I'm pretty much positive. Look, you can tell the box, look, it's ripped. They done ripped this shit out this box. Going in it, looking for shit, pulling out shit. I have papers in here dealing with our land down south. I have papers in there dealing with our land, property down south. Our land, that my father's mother's land. I have papers in there with that. I have old papers, mail and shit from my father from years ago. Letters about what they were doing about that land. My debt. Stuff that I can't take care of. My debt. And they seem to be playing games. See, that mailbox. I can't go down there and trust the mail in the mailbox. I don't know who's putting that shit in there. I don't know how my phone carrier sending me a letter talking about some payment that I didn't arrange. I didn't do that. I got debt. And y'all know my debt came from that trucking. And it's outrageous. I can't pay the debt. I can't handle the debt. I don't have time to do nothing but try to get this, to keep from being thrown on the street. And they like to play games at the most obscene time. They don't give a damn about me. All they care is about that damn debt. Now, see what I'm pissed at is that instead of them, see when I got on here talking about they need to pay me for what they did to me, they started sending debt letters. That's the game they play here. God don't like ugly. When I got on here saying that Warren Truck Plant need to be held accountable and pay me for what they did to me, they started sending increased debt letters. The debt. We need you to do this. I don't have time to do anything. I don't have money to do anything. I'm trying to keep from being thrown in the street. They don't give a damn about that. But that's what I see you doing. You playing games. The minute I got on here talking about Warren Truck Plant need to be held accountable and pay me for what they did to me, they started increasing the debt letter threats. And see, and I can't trust that mailbox no goddamn more. I don't know if that shit real or not. All this fake mail been coming here. They're using my debt to play a game with this. It's called psychic lottery. You need to research it. Go on the Department of Justice website and put in psychic lottery or Google it. Google psychic lottery and see what it come up with. What you come up with. And see what it says they use when they're playing the psychic lottery game. they also use the mail. They've been doing things with my mail as far back as when I remember when my father passed. I remember my father passed, and I'm at the house that he had when he passed. I was living there. I was driving the bus for Smart. I remember one day coming out to the mailbox, and somebody had took the mail out the box and thrown it all in the driveway. When I stayed at East Point Trust, a high school classmate of mine sent me some CDs up here. And when I got them out the mailbox, it was wrapped in computer printer paper. Somebody took a pencil and drew a squiggly line and made it look like it was processed through the postal service. But it wasn't. And it was taped. Computer printer paper. I'm talking about the old computer printer paper. You know, one with the perforation strips on the side and the little holes, and they run it through the machine. The old computer printer paper. And I remember calling them and taking a picture. I'm like, you sent this shit up here like this? I thought the post office had thought it was some drugs or something, because it looked like a brick the way it was wrapped. I thought maybe they thought it was some drugs or something and opened it up and repackaged it like that. When I contacted the post office, they said, we didn't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. So I called my high school classmate who sent the CDs up here, and he said he didn't send them up here like this. He sent them up there in a manila envelope. I said, you sure? I said, well, it's wrapped in white printer paper. Asked me to take a picture. He asked me to take a picture of it and send it to him. He said, that's not how I sent it. That's how long. That's going back to I think I was in that apartment building in 2010 to 2013, maybe. Somewhere around there. Don't get me quoting on the dates. It's also the apartment when I was working for that local trucking job who used to pay by check. The only company I ever worked for is a temp service I worked for that paid by check. They don't have direct deposit. So they used to mail the checks out. My check came up missing one day. Envelope was in there, but the check wasn't in the envelope. And then all of a sudden the check showed up. Now I done took the envelope out the mailbox. And I went down there. I said, well, maybe did the mailman miss it? Did he coming back by? I saw the mail truck out there. So I'm going to check the mailbox again. And sure enough, it was some old mail in there, but with no check. So I left the envelope upstairs on my bed in East Point Trust. I had already called a job, said I didn't get my check, and trying to find out what happened to the check. Where's my check? And they don't know what happened to it. And after just break a long story down, I go back upstairs. I go in my room. I pick up the envelope. Now, I done been all through this envelope. Ain't nothing in there but the paper that had your name and address in the little window there, the way it goes. Wasn't no check. I picked the envelope back up. There's a check. Check in there like I just overlooked it. I didn't overlook it because they put one slip of paper in there with your name and address on it. Then they put the check behind it. I didn't overlook it. Also, the same apartment, my cell phone came up missing. Yeah, my cell phone came up missing. Also, the same apartment where they had came in when I went to go sign the new lease, I had to sign the lease, and he signed it scribbled like. So I went back over. That's back when the leasing office was on the corner, the next corner. So I walked back over to the leasing office, asked them could they re-sign this more legible because can't nobody read this. While I was over there getting that done, somebody in the building came in the apartment and it turned that central air on in there because when I came back, it was running. Same shit they was doing in here. I've come back here and the air was on when I knew I turned it off. Now, sometimes I did forget, but that time I remember I turned it off. Cell phone came up missing, and that's also the apartment that I was laying in the bed that day. This is after I had to have maintenance change the locks because somebody was coming in the apartment. They were still in the packs of Kool-Aid. They were coming in the apartment still in packs of Kool-Aid. I had money come up missing out of a pair of my pants in the closet. I was in the shower one day, and I swore it felt like somebody had walked past the bathroom door into the bedroom. And that's when I missed the money out of my pants pocket. But I had to have maintenance come up there and change the locks this particular day. And because I went through the whole building, I said, everybody in here got that quick set key lock on their door. And because I had talked with the Home Depot about that. They said, yeah, that key, Anybody know them numbers on them keys can end up with a key to open your door. They have master keys to open the door. Master keys. These motherfuckers got master keys and shit. They high tech when they want to get in. They got shit to get in. So, they have maintenance. I said, somebody drank the pop. Somebody drank up my Kool-Aid. The pop got drank up when I was downstairs in the basement washing. I was still in the building when that happened. And I remember one day, I left out to go to work. The bus stop is on the next corner in front of the leasing office. I'm standing there at the bus stop. And I remember the job had called. And something got canceled or something. So we didn't have to come in or something. So I turned around and went back in the apartment. This individual didn't know I had went back in the apartment. So I'm laying there in the bed. And I hear a key being put in my door. So now I'm laying there in the bed. I'm getting ready to jump up because I'm about to fuck this motherfucker up. I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, I wake up. I must have dozed off, didn't hear no more movement or nothing, and just went to sleep. I wake up wrapped up in my blanket. But I had maintenance. Changed the locks on that door. He put a totally different lock on my door that wasn't even in the building. Gave me both keys. And I remember him telling me, you up in here like Fort Knox. We ain't even got a key to this door. It was still coming in the apartment. Want to know why? Because that very day that he had put the lock on the door, I was laying in the bed. I had my bedroom facing this way, which looks down the hall right into the living room. And this true story. I end up laying in the bed. Then all of a sudden, my living room lit up blue from under the door. Like somebody with a camera flash. And I heard like that old school camera noise. If you remember the cameras back in the day when they used to screw that blue bulb in there and use the flash, the camera, whatever it was, lit up the living room blue. And I'm laying there in the bed looking at this. And I hear this like flashlight, like somebody took a picture. And so I remember calling a friend of mine. Named Frank. I called Frank. And it was after midnight when that happened. I said, Frank, I think somebody just took a picture of my door. I just had them put the new locks on here. I think somebody just took a picture of my living room lit up blue. That was going on at East Point Trust. Then I moved in the next block. And that's where my documents was coming up missing. They had changed the map to our property down south. The original map to the property down south, the original heirs had picked out what little section they wanted. And my father had his section written on there. But they changed it because it's not the original map that I have. Oh, it's the land part of it, the survey land part of it is original. But the sections that was picked out with the names on it ain't. It's not the original maps. Them bastards even came in here and switched the map to our land down south. My father's mother and his father's land. They came here and switched the map. Then that was also when they started telling me they were trying to find all the heirs because they were going to divide up the property and sell the property, get rid of the property. That's when they started sending me letters for that. That's also the apartment in Hibbert. That's what it's called, Hibbert. Hibbert Towers. I was standing there. That's where a sister of mine that stayed in New York before she passed told me she had the only handwritten letter of my brother, Percy Morgan Jr. And she sent it to me. And I remember reading it. I remember reading that he was on his way somewhere because the story was in the family. He was on his way somewhere and he never made it. I think he may have been killed in the military because I do remember going in the basement as a kid when we stayed on Leander and seeing a folded flag in the drawer. My father had his army trunk, his dog tags, and his Fort Knox military book. I believe Percy Jr. may have been killed in the military. My father didn't tell me. The story circulating in the family that they were telling everybody that he was on his way somewhere and he didn't make it. So maybe that's the story. He was somewhere in the military on his way and didn't make it. I think he was killed in the military. I can't prove it, but I think he was killed in the military because my father had that folded flag, like they folded after they take it off the coffin. He had his army trunk. He had his army cot. His trunk still has some of the clothes in it. Some of his clothes in it that I remember seeing him in a picture. On the dresser drawer had his dog tags and his army book, Fort Knox. He went to Fort Knox for the army training. He had that down in the basement. We stayed on Leander. I remember that. They took that letter. The only handwritten letter from a brother of mine, Percy Morgan Jr. They took it. They went in the closet and went where I kept my papers at, which was in a drawer. And they took it. At the Hibbert Towers, I had drawers in the closet that pull out. And I used to keep all my little cluttered junk and important papers in there. They took it. Also had important papers in the hallway in the closet, dealing with the TRUCKN and my taxes and stuff. They went in there and took that letter. They took the letter, and they also took another letter. My sister's name was Floretta. Before she passed, she sent that letter to me, and also another letter that she wanted me to give to one of her two sons, which are my nephews. And I never met them in person, only on pictures. She wanted me to give one of them two a letter that she wrote. You know, they took that letter. And I remember talking to my nephew years ago and telling them that your mother sent me a letter to give to one of you all. But I don't have it anymore. Somebody took it. And I don't remember what it said. I don't even remember if I read what it said. I don't even know if I opened it to read what it said. But because he asked me, what did it say? That's how dirty these motherfuckers is. You took a letter that my sister from New York sent to me to give to one of her sons. And I don't know what was in the letter or what she wanted to tell him. No, your dirty ass took it because y'all looking for something to steal, something to switch, something to change, like you was doing with that land down south. You trying to get hold of shit that don't belong to you. So you come in here and steal it. So like I said, they go in that box in there. I can tell they went in there. That's why I keep all my important papers that were dealing with the truck, my taxes, all that. They went in there and they was rummaging through it so bad, they done finally ripped the goddamn perforated thing open. Because when I went back in the house, I didn't have this thing ripped like that. I mean, it was ripped to a point, but not like this. It just completely destroyed. And that was recently done, within the past couple of months. Somebody done been in the box. They come in here. That's where all the foot tracks be. And it's this fucking box. It's this fucking box here. They go in this box because there's something in this box they looking for, or they probably getting somebody in this building to go in here and find. They looking for anything and everything they could use to cause me financial problems. So now I got the debt people with letters in the mailbox. You missed this, of course, and I'm finna miss this apartment if I don't get the rent paid. The minute I started talking about that Warren Truck Plant shit, told you, Warren Truck Plant, I believe they keep up with my ass. I believe they know where I stay at. They keep up where I stay at. One of my classmates, I told you, worked there. And she been here to this apartment. But this shit been going on for years. Coming in my apartment. I could trace this all the way back to when I stayed on Jefferson at the Pasadena apartment. Oh, let me tell you about that. I was laying in the bed on my air mattress. And I woke up to the air mattress going down. There was a hole in it. Somehow there was a hole in it. And I'm damn near on the floor. But while I was laying there in the bed, I was asleep. And I remember somebody come to my ear and whisper in my ear, they love me. It's like they had their mouth right at my ear. And they had their mouth right in my ear and said, I love you. And I still remember the voice. And my son was, he wasn't even 18 yet. I think he was 16 going on 17 maybe. Probably younger than that. Probably 15. Something like that. Because that was long before I even... Oh, hell, he probably was younger than that. Because we left... Because we got... When that Chrysler shit happened, he was... That was 05. So he would have been... No, 15. I'm about 15. He probably was about 15 then when that happened. Yeah, somebody was in my ear, in my room. And I remember asking my son, did you come in my room and whisper, I love you? He said, no. That's also the department. I used to come home and see the maintenance. I came home one day. Maintenance never even told me they was coming in there. And the motherfucker was in the kitchen under the sink. Go tell me some story about the water was draining down the stairs. He had to come in there and fix it. Like, you need to let somebody know instead of me opening the door and your motherfucking ass in there in the kitchen on the floor. Then I know they was coming in there, going in the bathroom. I remember, I think they put something in my mouthwash. And you know what it tasted like? I had some mouthwash. It was in a white bottle. Never forget it. You know what it tasted like when I was swishing it around my mouth? It tasted like sperm. I know that smell. Even that smell. It smelled like cum. That's what it smelled like. And that's what it tasted like. It smelled like cum. In my mouthwash. That's when I stayed at the Hibbert. This is how long this shit been going on. I can take this all the way back to my house. And I could take it back even further. But it increased after that shit happened to me at Warren Truck Plant. And it also increased when, I think when I went on that cruise, when I was Warren Truck Plant. When I went on that cruise, I had to get a passport to go on that cruise. And after I put in for that passport, that's when the shit started. That's when it increased. I can remember shit being switched and changed back in my childhood. Shit disappearing. See, the stuff that happened in my childhood, they're doing today. I used to have a problem with my house key coming up missing. My father was always changing the lock. So now, present day, when I'm grown now you've been somehow having a key coming in where I stay at. I mean, they've been coming in my residence while I was asleep. I've had underwear come up missing. I've woken up with my underwear off. All this shit. I'm not kidding you. That's what these people are doing. That's why I keep that chair up under that door. Because I know what they're doing. So, told you I'm financially ruined. Instead of them holding the people accountable and making them pay me for what they did to me so I can get myself straight. No, instead, you want to throw debt that I shouldn't be in, shouldn't have if it wasn't for them, in my face, knowing you know I can't pay. I don't have the money to pay. What are you doing? This is society I live in. Ass backwards. Instead of going after the people, you need to get this woman her money that you owe her for what you did. So she can get her life back on track. See, when they give me the money they owe me, I can pay for everything that the debt I accumulated trying to get myself straight and from the games and shit they were playing. I'm in debt. You want to know why I'm in debt? Because they played out something I said when I was in there on the line. I said, I never wanted to go in trucking. Be out there gone every day, gone months, and then end up in debt. That's what they did. Took something I said and implemented it. Just like I was talking about that lottery. Well, if somebody can show you how to play lottery. Then they got a green light system here. I talked about that online before it was ever in existence. I said all this crime stuff going on. They should get some type of something where they can monitor some cameras and monitor it. And next you know, the green light system appeared here in Michigan a couple years ago. Green light. All this stuff I done said when I was in on the plant. I talked about Uber before it was Uber. I used to go back there to just ride all over the damn Detroit, burning gas. I said, shit, hell, I should get paid for it. Oh, here come Uber and Lyft. All this shit that I say, somebody else turned it into a business, somebody else profited off of. I'm telling you, that's what they've been doing. So they like to put debt letters in the mailbox because they're playing a game. Because the Powerball, it ain't bust yet. So now they putting debt letters in the mailbox. Now, they like to play with my debt or what I owe or what people owe me. They like to play games with that. And I'm sick of it. That's exactly what's going on here. Instead of them paying me what they owe me for what they've done, instead of this state making Warren Truck plant do what's right, you sit up here and hound me about debt, and I'm damn near about to be evicted. Ain't that just grand? This the state I live in, doing this shit to me. And I can't sit up there and say you don't know my whole situation. You, in fact, do know. And been participating in this the whole damn time. Every time I give somebody my phone number with an agency I call, I'm feeling weird shit. Before I started making this video, after I picked up this guy at the Spotlight Club here, and I'm feeling like somebody with a, I don't know, a teeny ass something jiggling around in my asshole. And I'm sick of feeling that shit. The shit is nasty and it's disgusting. God don't like ugly. I don't know when God is going to, get them for what they've done to me. Make them pay me for what they've done to me. Release me of these financial burdens. I don't know. Been 21 years waiting on it. 21 years they doing this same shit. And I can trace this shit back to back in my 20s. They've been doing this shit since I was a kid. This ain't nothing new. It just elevated and got more high tech as technology evolved. They've been doing this for a long time. I told you. I woke up one day without my drawers on. And that's back when I was in my 20s. And I remember calling the guy I was dating at the time, who I ended up having to send to jail because he was abusive. I said, I woke up with no underwear on? Because they was coming in the apartment. They was coming in where I was staying at while I was asleep. They did it when I was out there in a semi-truck. They were coming in there while I was asleep. It's dirty trucking them out. They owe me my money, and they need to pay it. Instead of trying to make a fool out of me with all this shit, debt shit that I wouldn't have had y'all held Warren Truck Plant accountable. But that's what they do. That's what they do. That's how they control you. They get in your pocket. They want to get you to a level where you damn near begging, pleading. Then they start sending more shit. But I already know you playing a game with the goddamn lottery with my debt. And using the mail for the shit. Wow. But they won't hold nobody accountable. They just letting these years go on by. They hoping I end up checking out, going into the grave, and they don't pay a damn thing. And they gonna be years later. They gonna be talking about it. They replacements gonna be talking about it. Yeah, you remember how they did Juanita and all this shit, and they got away with not paying her, and she had that lawsuit, and they didn't do shit for her. Yeah, that was a damn shame, wasn't it? But they ain't pay her, dear. They ain't pay her. She went to the grave, and they ain't give her a damn thing. God don't like ugly. Just because you think you got away with it, don't mean you did.